My name is BJ Bowley. I am a postdoctoral researcher at Michigan State University. For the regular attendees here this morning, you'll notice that I'm not the normal presenter for the weather update. I'm not Jeff Andersen, but I'm here to give a little bit of outlook about the conditions we've seen the prior week since the last update across the state, and then looking ahead to the next week of what we can expect as far as weather across lower Michigan. So just reviewing what we had last week over the last week in the region is that average temperatures across the state, they've come down a little bit more towards near normal. So we'll see there on the left, you see a map of mean temperature departure from normal over the time period. And we're looking at anywhere from near normal temperatures down in the southern part of the state to anywhere from 2 to 4 degrees above normal as you go north to the east there. And parts of the UP have been a bit above normal as well, with parts in the western part of the state being a bit more towards normal near the Wisconsin border. In terms of rainfall, what we've seen for the last week, you'll notice there west of Lake Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, and parts of the western UP have seen some precip, anywhere from a ½ inch to up near 2 inches in some of the heavier storms there west of the lake. But across lower Michigan, you'll notice that we've been relatively dry. So most areas of the state have seen just a trace or a 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of precip. Some isolated areas where it's gotten a ½ inch where the storms have come across. But overall, most of the state's been relatively dry the past week. And when we combine that and look at as far as thermal times, how these warmer temperatures have affected plant growth or the ability of plants to grow. So the accumulation of thermal times, a measure that we can use. And when we look at what's been happening with growing degree days, these are base 50 since the beginning of the growing season on around May 1st. We'll notice that most of the lower peninsula is a little bit ahead in terms of GDD accumulation. So in terms of growing degree days, things are running a little bit ahead of where they would have historically due to those warmer temperatures that we've seen. And combining this with that lower rainfall and those somewhat warmer temperatures, and we've been warmer in the past few weeks, this week came back a bit more normal. We've been kind of watching the dryness across the region, how that's been developing. So this on your screen is showing the US Drought Monitor. This is the previous week's map. These maps are issued every Thursday morning. So we'll be paying attention later today to see what happens. We're kind of watching that area. If you notice over eastern Illinois, western Indiana, that area of yellow you see, that's D0. So that'd be abnormal dryness. And we're looking to see if that is going to be extended upwards into Michigan and cover part of our area. So stay tuned. But with those warmer temperatures and that lower precipitation, as you know, dryness is becoming a concern. So that was what we looked at in the past and what may be declared due to what's happened the past week. So taking a look at what's happening this morning, it's a pretty nice morning across lower Michigan. Things are a little bit warmer. That warm front is parked off to our northeast a little bit. And things are going to be relatively dry today, and it's going to be warm. So that's one thing to watch today. As we move into tomorrow morning, that cold front with that pressure system is going to push through Michigan, and we could see some showers overnight across most of the lower. Accumulations aren't forecast to be very high with these rainfall events, but we could see some moisture this evening. And with that cold front pushing through, that'll drop our temperatures down to a bit more normal. So low to mid 80s across most of the lower Friday and into the weekend. And more the same Saturday. So as that front kind of pushes off to our southeast, high pressure is going to build in behind it a little bit. And that's going to keep us warm and dry this weekend. So not quite as hot as today. Temperatures will fall back into the low mid 80s through the weekend. So should be a pretty nice weekend to get out and about, but not much in terms of rainfall. So looking forward to the next 7 days, what we can expect for rainfall across lower Michigan. There is an increased chance of rainfall as we move into next week. You'll notice there towards the western part of the lower, we're seeing forecast accumulations in a lot of there, anywhere from a ½ inch up to about 1.25 inches across the western tier of the lower peninsula, and then up as we go to the northwest up by Traverse City, Petoskey area. When you go east of there, totals are forecast to be a little bit lower, more in the range of a ¼ of an inch to a ½ an inch, but we will likely see some moisture this coming week. So that's a good sign. And when we look at in terms of potential evapotranspiration, so how much water can a crop or a soil surface use through evaporation from the soil surface and transpiration through the plants, this is forecast through next Tuesday at 8 p.m., so the next Tuesday evening. What you'll notice there is forecast PET totals for the lower are running anywhere from about 1.5 down there in the southeast down to about 1.3 as you go north. The thing to note there is that these rates are a little bit above average for this time of year. And in combination with that lower precip that we've received so far and what we're forecast to receive the next week, that ongoing dryness is still a concern. So we may lose more water from the landscape than we gain through precipitation through ET, or crops may begin to exhibit signs of water stress. And then looking out from there a little farther out, these are the outlooks for the next 6 to 10 days for the whole US, but focusing in on Michigan, we'll notice that in terms of temperatures, things are forecast to be above average or tending towards above average or above normal for temperatures. And you also note there on the bottom right, that is the precipitation outlook. And we are in an area where it's leaning towards above average precipitation. So that's kind of built in as we've gone through the week. So those chances for precipitation, that outlook, it's tending to be a bit more wet. And if you look at the side of your screen there to the left, you'll notice that's a map of 500 millibar atmospheric pressure heights. But the thing to note there is that ridge that's building in over the Dakotas, the peak of that curve, you see those 3 green lines, we're going to be on the downsloping edge of that. And that is what's going to allow us to potentially receive more rainfall in the coming weeks. So a little bit more of an active weather pattern, and we'll see where things go. But those are what we're looking for going out for about the next 6 to 10 days. So just in summary, today it's going to be a warm one, mostly sunny though, so might be a good day to get out and get some work done in the fields. Tonight, showers coming on as that cold front pushes through, with temperatures falling back more towards normal Friday and through the weekend. There is a chance of some rainfall this weekend, and the greatest aerial coverage will likely be farther to the north and the west side of the state. This coming week, again, warm start to the week, mid 80s, relatively fair weather. And as we move through the week, their chance for precipitation does go up, but we're still calling for warmer than normal temperatures. And like I mentioned, again, really watching that crop water demand continuing at above normal rates. And if that continues, just watching for signs of onsetting dryness and hoping for more rain. So thank you for that. And I'm happy to take any questions.
BJ, this is Phil. I do have a question. What's the outlook for barbecue on Monday?
Barbecue on Monday, it should be a pretty nice 4th of July. So if you're getting out and having a barbecue with family and friends, should be a really nice day for it.
All right, great. Thank you.